Ladies and gentlemen, we've got more Battlefield 6 news, and I want to give you my opinion on it. Now, first things first, the beginning of the news starts out with skill-based matchmaking, has to do with the beta, has to do with them already making changes to the game before the beta is even launched, and then has to do with some gameplay things as well. And now most of these come through interviews that people have been having with the devs, like Vincent Pella and stuff. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the beta, because if you don't know what's in the beta or how to get your hands on it, I think that's pretty important. So we're gonna start here. A lot of these are Charlie Intel. They've been doing an incredibly good job reporting on this. So it says here, Battlefield 6 open beta will feature 4 maps: Liberation Peak, Empire State, Siege of Cairo, and Iberian Offensive. We will go through those in a minute. Then modes, we have Conquest and Breakthrough. Those are the big team modes. So those are the entire big maps. And then we have Squad Deathmatch, which I believe is 4v4v4, and Domination, which is 8v8. Early access begins on the 7th, and then the full open beta on the 9th. Now, there's been some confusion as to how to get access to the early access portion. Now, unfortunately, I think most of the ways to get early access are already gone. Pre-ordering the beta does not work. You can pre-order it, and that's cool, and you're going to get some bonuses in game, like some skins and stuff, but that will not give you the beta. There's 3 ways to get access. Number 1, have Battlefield Labs. Have already applied to it, you can no longer apply to it. Number 2, have watched the Twitch stream of the launch. That would give you a code. And number 3, you actually can do to this date, and that is have EA Play. That is like the subscription service to EA. Everyone in that will have early access. So that is the one way they are making money off of it. And then the open beta starts on the 9th, and that is anyone can play. So pre-ordering doesn't do anything. EA Play does. Applying to Battlefield Labs does, and watching the Twitch streams do. Those are the things that you can get from that. Now, as far as the maps go, we have Liberation Peak, which I believe is Gibraltar, Siege of Cairo, which is the one with the pyramids. Then we have Iberian Offensive, which I think is the one in the mountains. And then my personal favorite, Empire State. So these are what the different maps are looking like here. My 2 favorite, actually, there's 3 of them that I think look really incredible. These 3 here, Cairo, just having the pyramids in the background is pretty dope. I'm not going to lie. Gibraltar with the fire. And then, of course, Brooklyn just being Brooklyn. Those are the maps that are going to be in there. Now, keep in mind, if you are playing these small team modes, you will be playing on these maps, but a smaller version of these maps. Now, the next thing that I want to look at is skill-based matchmaking. Now, here is the statement and what Charlie Intel specifically said here. So EA says Battlefield 6 matchmaking will focus on ping, player's location, server availability, and some skill factor. The matchmaking factors will vary based off of each game mode and player counts. So what I take away from this is that there is skill-based matchmaking. People are saying that this means that there is no skill-based matchmaking. That is not the fact. This is the same statement that Call of Duty makes about their matchmaking. They say ping is king, and then it's location and server availability, and then skill factor. That is the same thing Call of Duty says. That means there is skill-based matchmaking in the game. Now, to what level, we don't know. And based off of that comment and the way that they say it, the matchmaking factors will vary based off of each game mode and player counts. To me, that means skill-based matchmaking is probably going to be more strict in the small team modes and less strict in the big team modes. That is what I take away from that. Now, there is no source of anyone saying that, but yeah, what we're seeing in the comments here is like Gold says here, some skill factor? Nah, how about no skill factor and just let me hang with the boys? I was going to buy the game after this. I will not buy it. I will only buy Black Ops 7. I deleted Delta Force because of skill-based matchmaking. Some skill factor just canceled my pre-order. So people are seeing through them putting that at the end there and saying, okay, this is skill-based matchmaking. There is skill-based matchmaking. Now, I'm not going to judge that until I play it, because just to be clear, Call of Duty has had skill-based matchmaking since Call of Duty 4. It has. It's just the level of it has wildly varied to the point where you can no longer play in a game with someone of a bad skill level because of how egregious skill-based matchmaking is. So I get why people are angry, but it's like a wait and play kind of thing. That is like really the only way I can say this. Now, that is really the only negative thing that I have seen thus far. The next thing that we have here is Battlefield 6 will run at 60 frames per second on PS5 and Xbox Series S by default. but the game will also have performance option to increase frames per second. So that's great. But yeah, 60 frames per second on console, I think is necessary. There has been many Battlefield games before that on console only run at 30 frames per second. A lot of people may not know that. That is a big problem. That makes the game feel bad. So as long as they can live up to this and there's not crazy frame drops, there's not crazy stuttering because of this, it is good. It will look crazy, but can they pull that off is the actual question. And that is why I said we need to wait and see. How does the beta feel? How does the launch feel? Everything we're seeing except for the skill-based matchmaking looks great. In fact, they are really, really listening to people. One thing that they addressed this week is, where do I have it here? This is one, which is the anti-cheat. EA says Battlefield 6 will feature a new Javelin anti-cheat system, which first debuted in Battlefield 2042 and Battlefield Labs. The statement is this: what anti-cheat measures will be in place? Javelin anti-cheat is EA's ever-evolving approach to ensuring the community enjoys a fair gaming experience across all of our titles. Javelin was built from the ground up by a veteran team of engineers and analytics focused studying the issues that cheating poses in each specific EA game and designing unique features to address those issues. Javelin is already a part of the other Battlefield titles, including Battlefield Labs, and will be integrated into Battlefield 6 at launch. Now, let's be clear. Battlefield has never put out a free-to-play game like they're going to be doing with the new Battle Royale, which means we don't know if this thing works very well yet. We just simply do not. And that is unfortunate, but it also means that they have it in place. When Warzone originally launched and they gained up to 100 million players, they did not have an anti-cheat. They did not whatsoever. But there's a little bit more to this because we have a little bit more news on crossplay. Crossplay in Battlefield 6 can be enabled or disabled in game settings. If you keep crossplay on, EA says that they are working to ensure console players get matched against other console players and will only add PC players if they need it to fill lobbies. So there is crossplay and you can play with your friends across various consoles, across various things, but it is not mandatory. And in fact, it is not the primary way of matchmaking. Now, I just want to be clear. When Call of Duty first added crossplay, they said this exact thing. They said this 100%. This exact thing, that is what they were going to do. Predominantly, if you're playing on PC, you're going to be playing with PC players. If you're playing on Xbox, you're going to be playing with Xbox players. This did not end up staying this way. And in fact, the hacking on PC ruined consoles to the point where they had to add in a setting where if you're on consoles, you do not have to play against other PC players. So this is good for launch, but it'll take time to see what they actually end up doing with this. Now, they are listening because we have this statement here. Battlefield 6 devs have confirmed that there will be a playlist to play either with locked weapon classes or open weapon classes in both the beta and in the launch of the game. I want to be really clear here. I have put my opinion out on this in droves that I truly believe when this comes out and when the beta comes out, 90% of players are going to play with open weapon classes. And the simple fact is when you get casual players in the game, they just want to be able to play the game. Now, does that mean the game is better with open weapon classes? No, absolutely not. In fact, the game may feel way better with locked weapon classes, but I think the casual players will play with open weapon classes. And because of this, I hope they don't look at it and go, well, everyone's playing with this. That means it's better. We're going to get rid of locked weapon classes. I have a big question as to what happens with that after launch. Now, the other thing here is there's a new Twitter account that I just started following today, and it's called Battlefield Comms. They said this: following feedback from Battlefield Labs participants, it was clear that players felt the earliest iterations of the weapon sling gadget was intruding upon weapon class identity with the ability to use double assault rifles or any other signature weapon, and we agreed. As stated on our second community update classes, this is being addressed. You will no You will not be able to use the following as a second weapon with the weapon sling: assault rifles, LMGs, or sniper rifles. You can use the following second weapons with the weapon sling: carbine, DMRs, or shotguns. Now, just to be clear, what the weapon sling does is allows you to use 2 primary weapons. It's essentially overkill. This is cool that they are already addressing this, not because it's a needed change, but because this was clearly something that people talked about at the event, and they are already changing it. And one of the, I think, most important things when we look at a beta and we look at the launch of a game like this is, number one, are they willing to listen to what players want, which Call of Duty hasn't done and was going to be the biggest fault? And how quickly can they fix those things? The fact that they're already fixing that going into the beta is a really, really good thing. And this is why I think they created Battlefield Labs, is not so that they could play test and get opinions, but also be on top of things really, really quickly before they even happen some of the time. Now, all of this, 90% of what we are hearing today is good news. There is one thing that is not good news, and it is this. It is the skill-based matchmaking thing. I am worried about it. I am. I think it has become such a goddamn staple in today's gaming landscape that noobs need to be pampered to. And honestly, they do. There needs to be a way for new people to get into the game without getting stomped, but it shouldn't be at the detriment of other players. And if they make it so that the skill factor, and what we see here is that some skill factor is only for disabled players, only for the bottom of the barrel, brand new players, this is okay. And I think they should address this immediately. I think they should say, this is how our skill-based matchmaking is going to work. It will not affect pretty much anyone in big team modes. It will affect you in small team modes, but only if you're the bottom of the barrel player. If you are a mid to bad level player, you're going to be playing with good players. That's a very different thing than them saying some skill factor, you're going to predominantly be playing with players of the same skill level as you. And again, I think this is a good statement to give, but you need to be more specific. That's my opinion, at least. But 90% good, 10% bad, at least they're speaking. It's where they go from this, if they listen, everything along these lines. But we'll have to wait and see. That's what we know for now. If you like me keeping you up to date on this kind of thing, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, turn notifications on. And yeah, we might have 3 videos today. We will see.